Hi, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Micah, and we are playing some Steins again. I don't think I exactly remember where things left off, but I think we're in chapter 2 at this point. So yeah, we'll just kind of see where it goes, because yeah, I don't exactly remember where we left off. Ragnarok? Suzuho looks confused. What's that? The final battle against CERN. You've got something like that planned? Count me in if you do, but I've never heard of it. Of course you haven't. This is the first time I've revealed it, for I shall be the one to initiate Ragnarok, and the world shall be reborn. Wow, you sure are brave, Okabe Rintaro. You'll probably fail, but I like your spirit. She's gazing up at the sky through the buildings. Here we go again. She stopped in the middle of the street, so other pedestrians look at her, wondering what she's doing. But she doesn't notice their stares. She slowly reaches out to the sky as if entranced, and then she freezes in that position. This is one of Mayuri's habits. I call it Stardust Handshake. Mayuri says that she's liked looking at the night sky ever since she was little. Her reason is romantic, or perhaps childish. I feel like I can reach the stars. When I asked her about it one day, she just smiled and gave that answer. At first she only reached out to the night sky, but lately she's been doing it without regard to the time of day. Like now, even when she's walking and talking with someone, something inside her just seems to switch on. Honestly, it's a little crazy. It's too early for stars, Mayuri. I walk up to Mayuri and call out to her. She slowly lowers her hand with a blank smile on her face. Did you know? Even during the day, the stars are still up there. Getting philosophical is nice and all, but it's dangerous to stop in the middle of the street. That's true. Oh, just now, when I was looking at the stars, I decided to have ramen for lunch today. How are ramen and stars even related? Mayuri's mind works in mysterious ways. I regret losing myself to curiosity back then. Kurisu sighs and looks up at the satellite. We're not alone. Several other people are standing here and looking up. It's Akiba's latest tourist attraction. Did you come to see the satellite? I guess. It doesn't make sense. Normally they calculate satellites' orbits so that they burn up at the atmosphere when they fall, so how can that thing be in such perfect condition? And that's to say nothing about the huge hole it punched in the building. Are satellites that durable? Where's this satellite from, anyway? They still don't know. Rumors say it's from the former Soviet Union, but Russia denies it, so it looks like they can't remove it yet. 3 days have passed and it's still unknown. How interesting. I smell a conspiracy. So it's another organization cover-up. They knew I'd be at Radican and tried to erase me. Organization? What's that? The organization is the organization. Its formal name is something else, but all those who know of its existence call it the organization out of fear. They rule the world from the shadows, transcending nations with politics, economics, religion, even science in their clutches. That's obviously a crackpot conspiracy theory. Thank you very much. Kurisu hangs her head and blushes for some reason. Where's that tips thing? Oh, what is this? This phrase is commonly used on the internet as a way of punctuating a statement. It originates from a story posted on @channel in which a man tries to pass his bodily fluids off as a popular soft drink. It was obviously blank, thank you very much. Oh, okay, so that's just her admitting that she's like an internet user, I guess, when she says that. Hontou ni arigatou gozaimashita. I hope I said that right. Hontou ni arigatou gozaimashita. I think I said that right. By the way, Christina, I've always felt that physicists are hypocrites. What? There are phenomena that everyone knows occur in reality, but which physicist refuses to research? Or, wait, what? There are phenomena that everyone knows occur in reality, but which physicists refuse to research. What do you think about that? I don't know what to say unless you can give me some examples. Ghosts, for instance. I had a feeling he was going in that direction. The occult? Really? You refuse to research it just because it's the occult? That contradicts what you just said. You'll never reach the truth that way. People have seen ghosts. There is even photographic evidence. So where are the theories? Why do physicists refuse to speak? It's a different field of study. You can't call physics the study of natural phenomena, then decide some things don't account. True, but... And that's why we must investigate the phenomenon of sending emails to the past. You shall assist me. No. Krisu gives me a clear-cut answer, along with her usual glare. So the genius girl really does hate me. I won't have a hand in your fringe science. I won't make the same mistake my father did. Your father? You make a fine argument, but it won't work in the scientific community. The day you decide to research time travel is the day you're out of a job. How can you be so certain? Because that's what happened to my father. Krisu grimaces. My father, a physicist, loved time machines. He was so fascinated by Wells's The Time Machine that he seriously studied time travel. But because of his obsession, he was practically exiled from the scientific community. I will never get involved with time travel research. This time her sheer force of will gives me pause. I think she's really pissed. I may have stepped on a landmine here. What do I do? If I get her any angrier, she might seriously hit me. Let's calm her down a little. Yeah, let's do that. But what should I say? I'm sorry, I got emotional. She apologizes first. Christina's calm character saves me. Wah ha ha ha! Don't worry about it. I wanted to test your character, so I made you angry on purpose. Huh? Anyway, the phone wave isn't a time machine. Email is a man-made system, so this phenomenon should be explainable in the scope of that system. I understand I had no... wait, what? I understand. I had no idea you hate time machines that much. It's almost like an allergy. I apologize for forcing you to become a lab mem. You don't have to come again. I wasn't planning on it. But know this, Christina. Don't call me Christina. Lab mem number 004 will be a retired member. That number is yours forever. Maybe she's just afraid of people. When I finally consider that, I'm taken aback by my own thoughtlessness. Of course, so that's what it is. Basically, she's afraid. Afraid of the insane mad scientist Hoenn Kylma. Well, I can hardly blame her. In fact, I sympathize. Few indeed can withstand my aura of supreme madness. Okay. Okay, buddy. Steins Gate. All people, without exception, possess their own Steins Gate. As long as you have yours, you may follow any path without losing your way, just as I follow mine. What the fuck is a Steins Gate? Like, that would be great to know. The game is called Steins Gate, but I don't know what that is. Like... Answers. Answers. I would love answers, but I'm not anywhere near where the answers probably are. Why did you come to see me? Not because I wanted to or anything. Don't get me wrong. She just keeps those abusive words coming. I can't stop thinking about what you said yesterday. What I said? About the IBN 5100 and CERN. Of course! You're working for CERN, not the organization. You're here to kill me, aren't you? That's what I thought. You have the face of a killer. What's wrong with my face? How rude. Can you calm down a bit? You're always screwing around. I can't believe you're older than me. Calm down? You don't understand what it's like to live on the run, never knowing when the next assassin will strike. All I'm hearing is gibberish. You come here to pick a fight? I just want to know how the IBN 5100 and CERN are related. Don't you mean you're interested in CERN's time machine research? Be honest with yourself. Shut up! I'm not interested in time machines at all. More importantly, did you find an IBN 5100? That's why I'm here. Krisu looks up at Yanabayashi Shrine's small archway. Or archway? Is it archway or archway? Potato potato? A shrine. Correct. Then, with perfect timing, a beautiful girl, or boy, dressed in Miko garb appears from the nearby shrine office holding a bamboo broom. Ah, Oka Kylma-san. Hello. Lukako, why don't you have it? Huh? Are you talking about Demon Sword Samidare? I thought I told you to carry it at all times. I'm sorry, but it gets in the way when I'm cleaning, so... What if they attack while you're cleaning? Nobody's going to come to your rescue, you know. That's true. I'll be more careful from now on. Hey, what are you two talking about? Lukako finally notices Kurisu and gives me a puzzled look. Who might this be? My assistant. No! What kind of introduction is that? I'm only telling the truth, Christina. You're not Japanese? I am Japanese. Anyway, Lukako, I need to talk to your father about... Wait! Introduce me properly! You want to be introduced properly? It's unnatural not to be introduced in this situation. I didn't come here to introduce you to Lukako. An introduction wouldn't take more than 10 seconds. What's wrong with you? Please don't fight. Lukako's flustered. Looks like he thinks we're fighting. This is Makise Kurisu, my assistant. Yeah, whatever, assistant, whatever. Ugh. Nice to meet you, Makise-san. I'm Urushibara... Am I saying this right? Urushibara Luka. Nice to meet you too. How old are you? 17 this year. A year younger than me. Oh really? Makise-san, you're so grown up. I can't believe we're only a year apart. That means you look old. She glares at me. No, that's not what I mean, you're very beautiful. Thanks. I think you're very cute. But he's a guy. I probably shouldn't tell her that. The shock from learning the truth might be enough to make her go back to America. You're introduced. Happy? Can we move on now? You are such a jerk. An IBM 5100. Inside is a simple computer with an integrated monitor. The monitor is only about as big as a GPS screen. I compare it to the IBM 5100 image I got from Shining Finger. They look very similar. Ah, look at this! Lukako points to the logo between the tape drive and the monitor. It says IBM 5100 Portable Computer. Mwahahaha! Mwahahaha! Finally, I have solved Akiba's urban legend! This is the Phantom PC of Akihabara. It's in excellent condition. There's only a thin layer of dust on it, but it looks like we'll need to plug it in to see if it works. Now the problem is whether Lukako's father will lend it to me. Urushibarashi, I'll be blunt. May I borrow this computer? Sure. Seriously? Is it okay for a priest to just lend property out like that? Items which were donated to the shrine? I've never heard of anything like that. That's why I was expecting him to refuse. When this was entrusted to us, the owner said this. If a young man ever appears and says that he needs this computer no matter what, please lend it to him with my blessings. I didn't think it would actually happen. To be honest, I'd forgotten about it entirely until you reminded me. I'm happy to lend it to you, Hoenn-kun, but please be sure to return it when you're done, okay? Wait. Someone left it with him on purpose 9 years ago for this moment. That means more timey-wimey shit's happening! Of course. Thank you. I bow deeply, but in my heart, I'm grinning like a madman. I can't stop laughing. Things are going better than I anticipated. It's almost like everything's being handed to me on a silver platter. Because it is! It is, right? That's, like, it is! It literally is! And I don't know why! That's the thing! Hey, what kind of lowlife teases a girl? I wouldn't know. Lukako is a guy! Oh my god, this is so fucking wild. And so I explain how Daru and I hacked into CERN, and how they've already had the LHC in operation for 9 years, and how they've successfully created mini black holes, and how it looks like they're researching time travel, and also how they haven't disclosed any of that to the world. Kurisu's expression grows more and more intense as she listens to the story. CERN certainly is acting strange, but how's the IBM 5100 involved? CERN's database uses an IBM 5100. So, the only way to decrypt that database is to use an IBM 5100 of our own. How do you know that? I have my sources. I don't drop Titor's name. I have no doubt this genius girl would laugh if I did. Krisu puts a finger to her lip, deep in thought. Setting the IBN 5100 in such aside, I want to see proof that CERN's really doing that sort of research. True, we didn't get any definite proof of CERN's time travel research last time we hacked them. Daru, will it take much longer to find the server admin's account? Actually, I was just thinking about doing that. It shouldn't take more than half a day, I guess. There you go. I'll wait until then. You'll wait? It's already getting dark. Why not go home for tonight and come back tomorrow morning? No thanks, I'll wait. I want to know as soon as possible, even if it's just a microsecond sooner. Hehehe, that's the spirit. You're already fascinated by the conspiracy. You can't help but want to know what lies at the heart of CERN. If what you guys are saying is true, then this isn't something to joke about. CERN is the world's top research institution. If they're doing secret experiments without publishing their results, they're making fools of scientists the world over. That's only if it's true, though. She finishes by emphasizing that point again. Doesn't look like she believes us. Anyway, Daru, I'll leave it to you. The program began in 1973. When was CERN formed? 1954. I asked Daru, but Krisu answers instead, her tone flat. I thought that maybe CERN was formed with the Z program in mind, but 54 means my guess was off. When was the IBN 5100 put on market? 1975. So maybe that's why the IBN 5100 was central to CERN's operations. The years match, after all. No, that's wrong. It can't be something as stupidly simple as that. There has to be a worldwide conspiracy involved. Maybe IBN hid their proprietary programming language in the IBN 5100 for the sole purpose of its use in CERN's Z program. IBN and CERN are co-conspirators, and both of them are being manipulated from the shadows by an even larger organization. Yeah, that's way more interesting. Ugh, a JPEG? Come on, I can't copy-paste this. Daru mutters some complaint. The text isn't in French. Or... what? Okay, I did read that right. What's on screen right now looks like English. Actually, there's French, Dutch, and German versions too. The content looks the same, though. CERN's purpose heading into the 21st century shall be to establish control over space and time, thereby to enable the destruction of extant history and the creation of an everlasting utopia. Ruled by the committee that encompasses the entirety of past and future events. Krisu suddenly starts speaking at a stilted clip. Oh right, Makise can do English. Way to go, assistant. Your study abroad in America was all for the sake of today, wasn't it? Of course not. Stop assuming people's roles in your fantasy world. Daru relinquishes his chair, allowing Krisu to sit in front of the computer. In order to maintain this project's secrecy and to allow its name to remain relevant in changing circumstances, we designate it the Z program. Z, like the Greek omega or the Cyrillic Ya. It is forbidden to assign any meaning to this name or to seek in it significance beyond the project itself. Negative returns are predicted should this edict be violated. The Z program is a top-secret project spanning international borders. Like electromagnetic wave research, it has been approved for top priority funding by the Committee of 300. Henceforth, all other research performed by CERN shall function to keep the Z program's existence secret. I guess Krisu's reading the preface to a document. It's getting rather dull. Is there anything specific about what exactly the Z program is? Daru types on the keyboard from the side, bringing up another window. Ah, here. This can't be. Krisu bends forward and stares wide-eyed at the words on the screen. What is it? The purpose of the Z program is to perform time-space displacement experiments by means of high-energy proton-proton collisions. Time-space displacement experiments. In other words, time travel! I have to struggle to keep from shouting. I quickly run over to the window and close it. It might make it hotter inside, but it would be worse if people outside overheard us. No way. It was true? You're telling me they've been deceiving the world for nearly 40 years? Just as I suspected, a great shadow lurks behind CERN, most likely the organization or one of its puppets. What organization, you chunbyo nutjob? At least try to be serious some of the time. Don't be ridiculous. My words are always grounded in truth. Anyway, shouldn't it be the committee instead of the organization? That's what it says here. The Committee of 300? I don't think they mean CERN's Executive Council. What are they talking about? The Unseen Masters, a secret organization rumored to manipulate the world behind the scenes. Some believe that the many secret societies spoken of by conspiracy theorists are all merely puppets of the Committee of 300. One theory states that the Committee of 300's ultimate goal is to establish a one-world government. With the exception of the elites, the world's population will be reduced to 1 billion, and that remaining 1 billion will be enslaved. Honestly, I could see that. I really could. 'Cause, like, look at what's happening in the United States right now, man. Just that alone. That alone, along with everything else with other countries, like, bro, we're fucked, man. We are so beyond fucked. The world is full of lies. It's not as beautiful as you think. Listen, Ocarin. I am listening. The Committee of 300 is the dark power that controls every secret society, every government, every multinational corporation. You're making things up again. It's the truth. Google it if you don't believe me. Until now, the human race, for all its accomplishments, has never been able to overcome the barrier called time. The technology of time travel, which can break through that barrier, will change the course of human history. Literally. As it was when we split the atom, this forbidden fruit has the potential to grant us godlike power. Not a man exists who can resist its temptation. And naturally, all those with power will use any means at their disposal to obtain it. Human morality is naught but a joke to those who would stand with the gods. Understand, Christina? Wow, that was quite a speech. Since you seem to know so much about it, does that mean you're aiming for godhood too? What Hyoin Kyoma desires is the destruction of all who would call themselves gods, the collapse of their hateful system, and a glorious new age of chaos. Wah ha ha ha! I'm not asking Hyoin, I'm asking Okabe. I am Hyoin. In other words, you don't have your own reason. Damn you, assistant, how dare you attack my very identity. Forget about him, Makiseshi. Please keep reading. Daru, what do you mean forget about me? I'm tired of listening to conspiracy theories. I'm more interested in the Z program than your delusions. I told you, they're not delusions and they're not theories. But Daru does have a point. Our top priority now is to expose the dark side of the international research organization known as CERN. Continue, assistant. At least show respect when you're asking a favor. Though huffing out complaints, Kurisu obediently goes back to translating. Stage 1, construction and implementation of the Large Hadron Collider. Over the past half-century, beginning with the proton synchrotron... Over the past half-century, beginning with the proton synchrotron, completed in 1959, particle accelerator technology has reached the point where standardized results may be obtained. Stage 2, implementation and testing of lifter technology. The formation of more than 2 artificial localized singularities, as well as the formation of Kerr black holes, will become possible when this stage is complete. In order to hide the program's true goal, it is necessary to intentionally leak misinformation regarding the formation of black holes. Stage 3, animal experimentation. I don't like that one. Stage 4, Kurisu stops talking. She takes a deep breath, then finally mutters angrily, human experimentation. Yeah, I like that even less. For real? A chill runs up my spine. I admit it, some part of me still saw this as a game. I was elated to discover that an institution as respected as CERN was actually doing time travel research. After all, we ourselves had succeeded, whether by chance or design, in producing our own time travel phenomenon. I thought that maybe we could beat CERN to the first functional time machine design. And wouldn't that be something? But now, just like I said to Kurisu, the world is full of lies. Morals are meaningless. Was it really okay for us to get involved in this? Hey, Ocarin, remember when we hacked in before? I'm pretty sure that email we read said this. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. For details, see the Jellyman's report. Someone died? Could that have something to do with human experimentation? My throat goes dry. Cold sweat seeps through my brow, and it's not because of the heat. Kurisu and Daru are waiting for me to speak. Are they entrusting the decision to me? I ask myself, is this really okay? Are you sure? There's no turning back. True, but can I live with myself if I ignore this conspiracy? Daru, look up the Jellyman's report. Really? Really. But first, Christina. Eh? You should leave. Why are you suddenly... The Jellyman's report. It gives me a bad feeling. Once we see it, we can no longer return to our normal lives. You're a genius. You're already published, for crying out loud. There's no need to throw away your promising future. Are you worried about me? Of course I am. You are my assistant, after all. I keep telling you I'm not your assistant. Thanks for your concern, but I'm not leaving. We need to expose this truth to the world. No, it's too dangerous. You chickening out? We're powerless against this conspiracy. One wrong move and they'll have us erased. But still, this isn't a game. I'm not joking here. Fine, I won't tell anyone. Though her expression shows she still doesn't agree, she finally submits. But I'm not leaving. It'll keep me awake at night. You won't regret this? I won't, she declares firmly. I don't know if it's her competitive spirit, or if it's her bravery, or if she's just ignorant to the ways of the world. But it doesn't look like I can persuade her to back down. What about you, Daru? Prepared? Well, I am a super hacker. He's comfortable even in this situation. And with my skills, they'll never know we were there. That settles it. It's good that Mayuri's not here. I can't get her involved. I look Daru and Kurisu in the eye. Alright, let's begin. Kurisu gives the seat to Daru. Henceforth, this shall be known as Operation... How the fuck do you say that? Lejarn's chest? How the fuck do you say that? And it's Norse mythology? Okay, that does not help with the pronunciation. In Norse mythology, the gigantic chest protected by 9 locks that contains the cursed word. Levatian. Okay. Interesting. I'm still reading my Norse mythology book, so I don't even know if this is like a real thing or if it's a fake thing because it's in the Chunbyo section. It's probably like a real thing in mythology, but again, I haven't delved that deep into Norse mythology to know. So, we're just gonna go with it. Why Norse mythology? Is that Norse mythology? Because it's cool, I guess. Anyway, what is it with men in military terms? Daru, begin the operation. He soon finds the Jellyman's report. It required a second password authentication, which Daru broke through easily. Ready? I'm opening it. Daru looks at me and Kurisu. I wet my parched lips and nod. The air in the lab suddenly seems thicker. Unable to escape through the closed window, it surrounds us with an oppressive heat. Daru wipes the sweat off his forehead with a handkerchief, then timidly presses the enter key. The file opens. At first glance, it looks like a resume. There's a photograph on the top right. The top left has name, age, height, weight, and other information. In the center is a long string of English text. Underneath that, there's something attached, like a scan of a newspaper clipping with a black and white photo. And then I know. I know exactly what the Jellyman in Jellyman's report means. Oh. Does that mean that instead of a banana being jellified, it was a human being? Ugh. Jellyman's Report 10. Subject, James McCarthy, age 31, American. Z Program Stage 4, date of experiment, 2005-01-28, T1305. Kurisu bends over Daru's shoulder, reading the contents out loud. Results, error, human is dead, mismatch. That again. It is believed that due to infinite compression by supergravity, the subject could not endure passage through the singularity inside the Kerr black hole. April 3rd, 1921, New York City, an unidentified man was discovered dead in an alley off Union Square. The right half of his body was embedded in a nearby wall. Oh. So that's not good. They didn't time travel him properly into the past at all. It sounds like Kurisu is reading the newspaper article at the end. The man's body was completely jellified. I knew it! I knew it was gonna be a jellified human instead of a jellified banana! I knew it! Oh, God, that's gross. That is so gross. That is so gross. Okay, now we're on chapter 3. Butterfly effects divergence. Oh God, no, not the butterfly effect. No, they mentioned the butterfly effect at the beginning. I don't like this. Oh. Oh, this is getting creepy. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. I was right. We're in too deep. I half expect guys in black suits and sunglasses to kick down the door and drag us off to a secret military prison. Better make sure the door's locked. What's going on here? Daru breaks the silence with a disbelieving whisper. They jellified someone? Upon hearing the familiar word jellified, I reflexively look at the bunch of bananas placed next to the computer. There's only one banana left. We didn't have a single successful experiment today, so none of them were jellified. But I don't think this is a mere coincidence. The jellified bananas produced by the phone wave named subject to change, and the jellified corpses produced by CERN's experiments. They seem identical in nature. They're experimenting on people. Kurisu speaks calmly despite her grim expression. She doesn't even avert her eyes from the gruesome image. And this means they've created a time machine, doesn't it? Even if it's not perfect. I'm still in shock, so I don't quite grasp the meaning of Kurisu's words. This New York Times article is from 1921, 90 years ago. Look. Kurisu points to part of the black and white photograph, her finger shaking slightly. The jellified corpse of a man. She's pointing to his shoulder, which is writing on it. Perhaps it was printed on his clothes. It's fused onto the jellified body, but you can somehow manage to read it. CERN. So, CERN used the LHC to send someone back to 1921? Looks like they failed to keep him alive, though. Is this the only report? No, there's more. Looks like 14 people in total. More jellymen? That means more jellified people. More victims of human experimentation. I swallow hard. I'm awfully thirsty. I take a cold Dr. P out of the fridge and wet my throat. Show me the others. Daru pulls up another report. Without being told to, Kurisu begins translating out loud. Jellyman's Report 9. Subject, Dan Straysky? Age 26. Canadian? No, they got us Canadians! How dare they? And this is definitely in French. I recognize French writing. Oh my goodness. They got us Canadians into this. Ew. Z Program 4. Date of experiment 2004-9-6. T 1410. Oh, T must be time. So they're using military time. Okay. Results. Error. Human is dead. Mismatch. The newspaper clipping. I think it's in French. I can't read it. You can read the date, though. January 31st, 2001. The location is Pau, France, I guess. 2001. That's fairly recent. A pretty big difference from James McCarthy, who jumped nearly 90 years back to 1921. Daru calls up a machine translation, giving us the following. January 31st, 2001. Collapsed male corpse discovered in forest outside Pau, France. Its left foot was fused to a tree trunk, and the body had jellified. Ew. That sounds terrible. Daru goes to the next report. Jellyman's Report 8. Subject, Linda Hill, age 25, British. Z Program 4, date of experiment, 2004-2-15, T 1345. Results, error, human is dead, mismatch. October 2nd, 1972, the jellified body of a woman was discovered on the streets of Dharmapuri in Tamil Nadu, India. I probably said none of that right. There were signs that the body had been run over by a car. Okay. Daru goes to the next page. Jellyman's Report 7. Subject Michael Lang, age 33, German. Wow, there's like all sorts of nationalities mixed into this. Z Program 4. Date of experiment 2002 10 8 T 1328. Results: error. Human is dead. Mismatch. The article clipping is written in Japanese. Looks like a pre-war newspaper. That would make sense. May 24th, 1936. Oh yeah, it's a pre-war newspaper. Oh, yep. That makes a lot of sense. The corpse of what is believed to be a jellified human was discovered at the base of Mount Hiei in Kyoto? Is that how you say that? Hiei? It was in a damaged state, possibly from having slid down the slope. It even happened in Japan. I've never heard this story before. It was pre-war though, so I guess someone born in the 90s like me would have no way of knowing about it. Next page. The picture shows a beach, beautiful, but for the jellyfish-like body lying on the sand, it must have washed ashore. Jellyman's Report 6. Subject, Mark Hughes, age 30, American. Z Program 4, date of experiment, 2002 8/23, T 1252. Result, error, human is dead, mismatch. On July 1st, 1985, a strange body washed ashore on the coast of Streymoy, Faroe Islands. It appeared to be the body of an adult male, but its flesh was soft like that of a jellyfish. That's so fucking gross. Some of the island's inhabitants believe that it was the body of a merman. Don't like body horror shit. The inscription CERN was found near the body's shoulder, but CERN denies any involvement. Keep looking. I've seen enough. There are 14 of these people? The sites are spread throughout the world. What can we deduce from this? They must have sent them to those places. I don't think so. It's too random. There was something about Kerr black holes and gravity, right? Isn't that the cause? It is believed that due to infinite compression by supergravity, the subject could not endure passage through the Kerr black hole's singularity. That's what it said. What's a Kerr black hole? Is it different from a regular black hole? It's a theoretical black hole with a rotating singularity. Their existence hasn't been proven yet, not that there's any way to prove one exists. Kerr black hole. Where have I heard that term before? That's right, John Titor. Titor said his time machine used Kerr black holes. According to Titor, CERN finished their time machine in 2034, and then Titor himself came from 2036. It makes sense for Titor and CERN to be using the same time travel technology. Krisu closes her eyes in deep thought. Creating Kerr black holes? That's insane. If you screw up, it could swallow the Earth. And besides, Kerr black holes are just a theoretical construct. If Titor's predictions are a reality, then that means the LHC worst-case scenario video on YouTube was right. I don't know about Titor's predictions, but I've seen the problem video before. It was on the news 2 or 3 years ago. Problem video. A CG mock-up of an LHC-generated mini-black hole swallowing the Earth went viral when it was uploaded to YouTube, a popular video sharing website, which we all know is in relation to YouTube. The gravitational forces inside a black hole are unbelievably powerful. It's certainly possible that passing through one could allow time displacement, but there's no way a human could do that and come out alive. That must be how these people got jellified. It wouldn't just jellify you, it would tear you apart particle from particle. Ugh, that's disgusting. That's what a black hole does. Before we discuss this, shouldn't we look through the rest of their time machine research? Daru's already started pulling up new documents. I'm suddenly afraid. Is it okay to keep hacking CERN like this? Should I stop him? I'm the one who asked him to do it, but things have gotten serious now. But at the same time, irresistible curiosity wells up inside me. Time travel is becoming a reality. I want to know that it's true. I can't stop now. Here we go. There's a file in the Z program that explains time travel theory. That was pretty easy to find. CERN should have better security. Their security's fine. I'm just too good. Daru is my favorite right arm. I thought he was your super hacker. Hacker! So what does it say, Christina? This is in English too, so I have no choice but to rely on my assistant. Can you give me some time to read it? Krisu's eyes dart left and right across the lines. Her earlier reluctance has vanished. It looks like she's as curious as I am. No way. But this is... Is Titor really... What are you muttering about? Tell me what it says. Oh, right. You know, this feels like one big joke. What do you mean? It's almost the same as Titor's theory. Basically, the LHC smashes protons together at 99.9999991% the speed of light. Did I even say that right? 99.9999991. Yeah, I think I did it. By doing so, they compress a mass of 10 negative power 24 kilogram, I think is how you would say that, into an extremely tiny space of 10 negative 19 meters? I'm not good at math, okay? In Japanese, please. 3 lines, max. A small mass, thrust into a narrow space, with great force. That explanation's too vague. That explanation's too erotic. Huh? What part of it is erotic? Ah! Hashida, you pervert! Sounds like you have a pretty good imagination yourself. I'm not like you. Her blushing cheeks make her denial less than effective. Don't listen to this fool, Christina. Continue. Ugh. Oh, what were we talking about? Thrusting with great force. Proton compression. Right, successful compression generates a microsingularity, which... A microsingularity, not a mini black hole? Same thing, essentially. A singularity is the core of a black hole. This process generates a black hole with 2 microsingularities. A black hole with 2 cores? Like a cowlick with 2 hairs? No, I don't think that's it. Explain with cute girls. Fine, say there are 2 cute girls, Mick-chan and Crow-chan. Sisters are moe. Heh. Heh. By feeding Mick-chan and Crow-chan electrons, you can make them do whatever you want. Electric shock torture? This some sort of eroge? So you force them to rotate at an extremely high velocity. And then, theoretically, Mick-chan and Crow-chan transform into Magical Girl Ring Singularity. Cue stock transformation scene. Got it. Well, it looks like these 2 have found a common wavelength. The resulting black hole exhibits what's called the Kerr effect. What are Kerr black holes anyway? You said they spin, but what does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. But don't black holes usually spin? I mean, there's a whirlpool around the hole, right? The part that looks like it's spinning is just the surrounding matter being sucked into the black hole. A black hole is just a point where extreme mass causes gravitational collapse. Everything falls towards it. Since it's only a point, it doesn't spin. A Kerr black hole has a ring at its center, not a point. Think of it like this. Once transformed into magical girls, Mick-chan and Crow-chan's hearts spin like a ring inside their bodies, which is impossible for normal people. I'll pass on the girl. Before you said that such a black hole's existence would be impossible to prove. What did you mean? A black hole has what's called an event horizon. Once you pass the event horizon, time and space switch places. What's an event horizon? Also known as the Schwarzschild surface, in a black hole, there exists a point beyond which even light can no longer escape the black hole's immense gravity. This boundary is called the event horizon. Because light and other electromagnetic waves are responsible for conveying information, nothing that occurs within the event horizon can be observed from the outside. The center of a black hole is black because no light can escape from it. Okay. Time and space switch places? Right now we can move freely through space and into the future, but we can't move even 1 minute into the past. That becomes reversed. On the other side of the event horizon, moving freely through space becomes impossible, while moving freely through time becomes possible. I can't even imagine what that's like. Since unrestricted spatial movement is impossible, you can never escape a black hole. For example, if Okabe jumped into a black hole, time for him would stretch to infinity. Since light cannot escape, human eyes cannot see the other side of the event horizon. Observing a black hole from the outside is impossible, so nothing about the inside can be proven. There is an exception, however. This exception is vital when you use a Kerr black hole for time travel. Get to the point. The Kerr black hole's ring singularity. Since it's spinning, it has angular momentum. Like I said in Japanese, please. Didn't I already explain how the core spins? Just think of that as having momentum. If you keep giving Mik-chan and Kro-chan electrons, they'll rotate faster and faster. And when their angular momentum exceeds a certain threshold, the event horizon will disappear, and the singularity will become a naked singularity. Naked? You mean the magical girl costumes expose a lot of skin, right? When does the anime adaptation air? Kurisu and I ignore Daru's nonsense. A singularity is usually concealed by its event horizon, which renders observation impossible. A naked singularity is a singularity whose event horizon has been removed. It can therefore be observed and even traveled through. The existence of naked singularities is purely theoretical. Naked? You mean it becomes observable. When the event horizon disappears, there's no more reason for time and space to change places, meaning that you can enter a naked singularity without being trapped. And then the existence of the naked singularity allows the principle of causality to be violated and the general theory of relativity to fail. Oh man, just because of Daru being a pervert, the word violated brought an image to mind, and yep. The laws of physics are broken. Can such a thing exist? The negation of the theory of relativity and the principle of causality means serious paradoxes can occur. Didn't Kurisu say that earlier? Nothing in principle stops Kerr black holes from existing. It seems inconsistent, but the math never lies. Since the principle of causality fails, it would be possible to travel to the past by entering a naked singularity. John Titor said the same thing, so Titor's time machine is using CERN's technology. But Titor's time machine was compact, small enough to fit into a car. The LHC is 27 kilometers long, but they managed to get it down to travel size in just 24 years. One thing I don't understand is how they inject electrons into the singularity. Look, this is a picture of the LHC, but there's strange equipment installed at the proton collision site. It looks like they call it a lifter, but just what is it? Daru, have you heard of it? Lifter. I think I saw that in the Z program files. Wanna Google it? Daru opens up a browser window and enters lifter into a search engine. We've got hits. About 422,000 results. That many? I guess it's not a secret. Could this be it? Lonocraft? Or Ionocraft? Ionocraft? Is that what? Ionocraft. Ions are charged particles. The meaning matches. We click on a link that says Ionocraft Lifter. It takes us to a video. Looks like some dim garage, but it doesn't seem like anything secretive, just a garage like you'd see in an average American home. At the center of the screen is a triangular shape made of some kind of metal. It looks about 10 centimeters high and about 30 centimeters wide. It's connected to some sort of generator by a thin wire. Looks like some really cheap equipment. That's all there is. Nothing else. After explaining something in some language I don't understand, Russian maybe, the person filming the video slowly turns the power on. And then, it's floating. The silvery triangle floats soundlessly into the air. Then it remains stationary. That's an anti-gravity device. Don't be ridiculous. That would be the breakthrough of the century. It's called an ionocraft, so it probably has something to do with electrodes and charged air. Kurisu doesn't sound as confident as she usually does. We look up information on the ionocraft lifter. Lots of sites have detailed instructions on how to make lifters, but I don't know how they work since the sites all give conflicting theories. CERN is using this lifter technology. It's a vital component of their time machine. If they can manipulate a microsingularity's mass and gravitational field, then these things really are anti-gravity devices. Well, under those exact conditions, I guess you might not be entirely wrong. Incredible! My curiosity's growing more by the second. But it looks like CERN's having trouble adjusting their lifter. They don't have full control over the microsingularity's gravity, so they can't make a true naked singularity. That must be the reason why the subjects turned into jellymen. Krisu nods. Since the singularity is still closed, the subject is crushed by its tremendous gravity. As a result, substances become fractalized. Let's go with that hypothesis. Of course, there's no way to be sure that it's right. It might take months to prove. Krisu shrugs her shoulders in resignation. So CERN's lifter is still incomplete. If Titor is telling the truth, then CERN won't complete their time machine for another 24 years. If we can complete the phone wave name subject to change first, then we'll have outwitted CERN. We don't have half the equipment or funding CERN does. What makes you think you can solve a problem that they can't? This isn't that simple. CERN still hasn't figured out how to set the subject's destination in time or space. That should be evident by how scattered the Jellyman discoveries were. We don't even know if this is all of them. There could be Jellymen buried underground or floating in space. Actually, I'm almost certain there are. There's no point traveling through time if you end up in tens of thousands of kilometers away from the Earth. It's not practical at all. Titor said he had a variable gravity lock system. He can use that to lock onto the Earth's gravity and ensure he arrives somewhere on the planet's surface. Titor's explanation on that point was vague. He mentioned having such a device, but he didn't explain how it worked. But if you're only moving through time, won't you just arrive in the same location? Of course not. Why not? Because the Earth is always moving. Right, rotation and revolution. The Earth's rotational velocity is about 1,650 kilometers per hour. Its orbital velocity around the Sun is about 114,000 kilometers per hour. Meaning 1 hour ago, we were that far away from where we are now. Whoa, when you think about it like that, we're earth-shatteringly fast. And that's not all. The solar system is part of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way spins like a giant whirlpool. There are various theories, but basically the Earth moves about 50 million kilometers a day. How can she roll all those numbers so smoothly off her tongue? I get that she's a genius, but it's hardly common knowledge. Has she been doing research on the topic? We've kinda gotten to a ludicrous scale. By the way, the Milky Way is part of a large cluster of galaxies, which is itself part of an even larger supercluster. And these clusters are superclusters. And these clusters and superclusters might be moving too. If that's the case, we're moving even more than 50 million kilometers a day. The point is that setting the destination would require insane calculations, even if you only want to travel 1 second into the past. Doing it by hand is impossible, and it might take years for a supercomputer to come up with a solution just to get you to the same location. Have you bought Phantasm's debut single, Nya? It's the theme song, or Rainet Kakeru, so it's really popular. Ferris bought 5 copies, Nya. It's my duty as a Rainetter. Anyway, there's an important secret hidden in Phantasm's songs. The key to unlocking it is... Oops, the bell's ringing, Nya. Looks like someone's here. Better see who it is. Then did I even read that? I don't even know if I read that. Doing it by hand is impossible, and it might take years for a supercomputer to come up with a solution just to get you to the same location. Then we have no choice. We need to find Titor and borrow his variable gravity system. Great idea. Go for it! I wonder how CERN is dealing with this problem. After blowing me off, Kurisu goes back to reading CERN's documents. Daru and I aren't good with English, so there's nothing we can do but let her work. Christina, I ordered you to investigate CERN. What have you learned? I don't remember being ordered, but whatever. There are 2 problems CERN faces with time travel. First is the electron injection device, also known as a lifter. Unless they get it to function properly, they can't make the Kerr black hole singularities naked. If you send a test subject through the singularity in its current state, the supergravity compresses them to the micro level. Naturally, there's no way to survive. The second problem is that they can't specify a physical destination. They can't choose where they end up after traveling into the past. That's why I'd say the 14 found jellymen were the lucky ones. Over 100 human experiments have been performed since 2001. The remaining 80 or so people ended up somewhere they can't be found. Why can't they be found? Didn't you know, Mayushi? The world is constantly moving. Its rotational speed is 150 kilometers per hour, or 1,500 kilometers per hour, and its orbital speed is 114,000 kilometers per hour. Daru's tone is authoritative, but he's just relaying what he heard from Kurisu last night. CERN has been looking for solutions, but it's not going well. So even CERN is having difficulties? Now then, have you learned anything that could help us complete the phone wave name subject to change? Kurisu stares at the ceiling in thought. Well, I suppose we could call the LHC the world's largest microwave oven. Of course! In other words, the phone wave name subject to change is a miniature LHC. You might be onto something there. I was sure she'd deny it. In fact, I thought she'd yell at me. But instead she agreed with me. Throws me off a little. However, there are too many things we don't know about the phone wave. Why do the same phenomena that occur in CERN's time machine also occur in that tiny, tiny little microwave? Unlike the LHC, this thing wasn't made for time travel. It was made to warm Mayushi's chicken! Well, yeah. Since the Jellyman phenomenon occurs with the phone wave name subject to change, Mayuri's bananas must be reaching the Kerr black hole's ring singularity. It makes a black hole? Here? It won't suck us in, will it? If it sucked us in, we'd become Jellymen too. But we still haven't figured out the electric discharge phenomenon or the conditions required to cause it. During our experiments earlier, we were only able to send emails to the past during the discharge. Although it hasn't happened again, that discharge phenomenon could very well signify the injection of charge, that is, electrons. And only when it occurs does the path to the singularity open. We don't know the cause of the discharge phenomenon. That's what we need to find out. In the first place, the emails we're sending to the past are digital data, not physical objects. That's a definite difference from CERN's time machine. No, we're doing the same thing. Who's to say that digital data can't go through a singularity? I think it would be easier than sending something human-sized. Well, I suppose that's true. You know, the way you guys talk about email, it makes me think of folding a letter into a paper airplane and making it go zoom, you know? It's more like a beam of light, like optical digital data. By the way, it's a pain to keep saying emails sent to the past. Let's give it a proper name. I've got a bad feeling about this. What's that supposed to mean? You dare mock Hoenn Kyoma? You just want to give it some oddball name, don't you? How rude. Heed me. I shall name the phenomenon of email sent to the past as follows. The name shall be... Nostalgia Drive. Confusing. Rejected. Why you? Who gave you the authority to reject my ideas? You're just an assistant. Then why don't we take a vote? All in favor of Nostalgia Drive. My hand shoots into the air, but nobody follows suit. Have you forsaken me, Daru? Mayuri? Christian's right. It's too hard for Mayushi to remember. It's way too chuny, man. Traitors. Fine, then let's hear alternatives. Don't tell me you rejected my idea without having any bright ideas of your own. I think it needs to be something easy to understand. It's an email that regresses through time. So how about retro mail? What does retro mean? Mayuri is busy eating strawberry jelly. How can she eat that stuff after hearing about Jellymen? Sounds like you have your answer, Christina. You said it should be easy to understand, but it wasn't easy to understand at all, was it? But that's because Mayuri-san is... never mind. Were you about to say because Mayuri's dumb? No! Chris-chan, do you think Mayushi's dumb? I don't. I promise I don't, okay? Somehow Kurisu manages to glare at me even while soothing Mayuri. I vote the male who leapt through time. That's too stiff. It's hard to say. It's better than your nostalgic expialidocious nonsense, and mine makes a movie title referent. That's not cool. It needs to be cool. You're rejecting it for that? Tuturu, Mayushi has an idea. How about back to the mail? I took a movie title and changed a word to mail. I already did the movie joke, Mayushi. Besides, I think the meaning is a little off. She probably meant mail to the future, but our emails go to the past. It's not about the meaning. I took a movie title and changed a word to mail. Either way, it's too long. Then how about DeLorean mail? That doesn't even say what kind of email it is. Hey, we don't have time for this nonsense. Let's just abbreviate it to D-mail and move on. But that's boring. They say it, but I think it's supposed to be I. I don't care if it's boring. Shot down. Kurisu's influence in the lab seems to have grown significantly these past few days. D-mail it is! Mayuri, finished with her jelly, proclaims in satisfaction. Wait, when did Mayuri become the moderator? By the way, is Makise Kurisu here too? Yeah. Come to think of it, she did pick a fight with Christina yesterday. Have you met before? No. Yesterday was first contact. First contact? That's a strange way of putting it. Oh, really? Weren't you a little hostile for a first contact? She's my enemy. What? I barely heard her. Her voice was so low. I'm about to ask her to repeat herself, but Suzuha is staring at the ground in silence. She obviously doesn't want to talk about this. Did she call Kurisu her enemy? But that doesn't make sense. How can she be your enemy? You just met, right? Yeah. Did she do something to you? Not to me. What does that mean? She did something to someone else? If you want, I can go talk things over with Christina. It doesn't really matter. Maybe you're blaming the wrong person? Jeez, give it a rest. She hits me with a glare. Anyway, shouldn't you apologize to the boss instead of talking to me? Heh, actually I'm getting cold feet. But I am Hoenn Kyoma, the mad scientist who brings chaos to the world. I can't falter now. I steel myself and enter the Brawn Tube workshop. Part-time warrior follows me inside. I have come! Master Brawn is sitting at the counter inside, slurping delivery ramen. Even when I enter, he doesn't look away from the huge 42-inch CRT. It's showing some news show's report on some celebrity divorce. Part-time warrior doesn't say anything. She's just going to stand there and watch him rip me a new one. Hey, Okabe, the hell are you doing up there? Straight to the punch. He doesn't take his eyes off the TV, nor does he stop slurping his ramen. Yet despite his sedentary posture, he exudes extraordinary pressure. But now is not the time to falter. We're currently conducting experiments that will change the course of human history. The discoveries we make today will shape the world for centuries. I don't care what games you guys play. I'm the owner of this building. Got it? And the building's really worn out. You keep shaking it like that, you could bring the whole damn thing down on our heads. Better keep quiet about the dent in the floor. Very interesting, Mr. Braun. Don't tell me you forged this building's earthquake safety certificate. What if I did? Holy crap. Maybe we should seek shelter soon. It's been properly reinforced, but regardless, you guys are still shaking it too much. Huh, so what if a few buildings collapse? What's that? As I've said countless times before, our current experiment is of vital importance to the history of science. No, to the history of human civilization itself. It's more important than prolonging this building's lifetime for another 10 or so measly years. The building starts shaking again as soon as I finish speaking. Flakes of concrete start falling from the ceiling. The 42-inch CRT's image goes to static. Damn it, Daru, what are you doing? I thought I told you to stop the experiments. Okabe! He's glaring at me. The ceiling is falling, you dumbass. Some got into my ramen. What are you gonna do about it, huh? No more shaking. Or I'll raise your rent by 10,000. What? If you raise it 10,000 yen, we're ruined. Leave it to me, Mr. Braun. On my honor, I swear there won't be any more shaking today. With that, I race out of the Brawn Tube workshop. While the rest of us eat, she scribbles on the whiteboard, then puts it up against the wall. That about sums it up. Anything to add? I like how they managed to make it so that it looked like writing. Like, I don't know if someone, like, had to create text in to be able to do that, or if this is actually, like, somebody's writing in order to create this background. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the effort. Nothing especially. She summarized the vital parts. Mayuri has her mouth half open in a blank stare. She clearly doesn't understand. A D-mail can be at most 36 English characters or 18 Japanese characters long. That makes experimentation difficult, so we'll want to improve that first. Furthermore, each D-mail is split into 12-character segments. If you send 36 characters, you'll get 3 12-character emails. If you try to send more, everything after the 36th character disappears. But we figured out how to control when it arrives. That's pretty good, right? Though we can only set it in 1-hour increments, we can control how far back D-mails go by using the microwave's timer. Observation isn't enough. We need to find the underlying principle. What I've written here is nothing but verified phenomena. The underlying principle, you're right. It's not a complete time machine until we understand how it works. What could be the reason for the character limit? Daru and Kurisu remain silent. Suddenly Mayuri, who has been staring at the ceiling in confusion until now, raises her hand. Chicken and bananas become gel chicken and gel bananas, but salt doesn't turn into gel salt, right? So much gel. According to Mayuri, the refrozen chicken had indeed been jellified when she tried eating it. Kurisu's prediction was right. And you can send 36 letters in a D-mail, but everything past that disappears, right? So I think maybe you can't send big things, or a lot of small things. Maybe the curb black hole... it's Kerr black hole. The curb black hole. Kerr black hole. The black hole's hole is too tight. Mayushi, say that one more time, starting from hole. The hole is too tight. Outrageous. Stop making her say stuff like that. Mayuri has flowers for brains, so she's easy prey for Daru's perversions. It drives me crazy. The hole is tight, huh? That might not be entirely wrong. Maybe we have the same problem CERN has with their time machine. Since they can't fully control the lifter, they can't make the singularities perfectly naked, which limits how much they can send. Anyway, 6 Japanese or 12 English characters comes out to 12 bytes. English characters are half-width, so they only use 1 byte, but full-width Japanese characters use 2. Bytes? Not kilobytes? Oh, so Maki says she's bad with computers? Heh, is that so, assistant? Shut up! You don't see things measured in bytes nowadays, so I was just making sure. By the way, 1 kilobyte is 1024 bytes. 1 byte is 8 bits. Well, email isn't just comprised of text, there's more to it, like the sender and receiver's email addresses, the header, and various other things. So roughly speaking, we can send data in 3 batches of 12 bytes then? By the way, I don't know if using a subject changes anything. But I'm pretty sure that chicken and bananas have to be larger than 12 bytes. How do you measure a banana in bytes anyway? Since each grain of salt is tiny, it's possible they could be converted to less than 12 bytes. So larger masses get crushed by supergravity? Mass might not be the issue here. Data doesn't have mass. In any case, since the singularity isn't naked, the object is forced to pass through the event horizon. Inside the event horizon, space and time switch places, causing the subject that arrived at the ring's singularity to reach ultra-high speed. The data crushed and destroyed by supergravity is shot out of the black hole. As a jellyman. But even a small mass has to press through supergravity. How does it emerge unscathed? If the hole is too tight, then just inject more electrons. I don't think it's that simple. I mean, I'm sure CERN's tried that already, and yet they haven't gotten any results after 9 years of experiments. It's not as simple as increasing the flow of electrons. I see. CERN has a lifter, but we don't know what in the phone wave is filling the same role, much less how to adjust it. She has a point. We don't know what acts as the lifter, but we do know that it has successfully created a path wide enough to send approximately 36 bytes of data through the ring's singularity. I don't get it. Mayuri finished with her chicken, looks at us in confusion. Think of it like an RPG. The ring singularity, the entrance to the event horizon, is the gate to the Demon Lord's castle. Demon Lord? Hundreds of soldiers attack the heavily fortified Demon Lord's castle gate. The soldiers can use the magic called Lifter to force the castle gate open, but they can only keep it open for a moment before it closes. During that moment, only 12 soldiers can break through. The soldiers can only use Lifter magic 3 times. The 36 soldiers who make it through the gate return triumphantly as the heroes who slew the Demon Lord. But the soldiers who are left behind are imprisoned by the Demon Lord's minions. They're taken to the castle's prison cells and turned into slimes. The heroes save them after defeating the Demon Lord, but unfortunately they go home as slimes. So the soldiers who went home as slimes are jellymen? But there's an exception. The soldiers can combine into a super soldier with the strength and size of 100 ordinary soldiers. The super soldier has the power to defeat the Demon Lord alone, but since his body is too big, he can't pass through the gate, even when it's opened by Lifter. And so, deprived of his magic's effectiveness, the weakened super soldier is seized by the Demon Lord's underlings and sent home in defeat as a giant slime. Combining soldiers? That's just silly. It's to illustrate that the object can't be too big. I get it. That's really easy to understand. It is? It's a dumb metaphor, but I guess it works, at least as an explanation for why things get jellified. Heh, it's all thanks to Mayuri's hint. Mayushi was helpful? Yeah, great insight, Mayuri. Yay! But it's still a hypothesis. It hasn't been proven. How would you prove it? With human experiments like CERN? If Okabe and Hashida-san volunteer as test subjects, I'll happily experiment on you. Human experimentation sounds kind of dirty, if you know what I mean. But I refuse. I'd rather play the doctor than the subject. Same here. No, not in the way he's implying. Idiots. Kurisu gives us a cold stare and shrugs her shoulders in exasperation. As I keep saying, the real problem is what the phone wave uses as a lifter. That and one other thing, how come the discharge phenomenon and jellification only happen during a certain time frame? We may not understand everything, but we've perfected the art of demailing. Isn't that our final answer? Abbreviated as FA in Japanese, used in the question, "Is that your final answer?" internet slang, originates from a popular quiz show with contestants who want to be millionaires. If you want to be a millionaire or something like that, or do you want to be a millionaire? Sending mail to the past is amazing, isn't it? Though I guess it's not a real time machine unless we can send people to the past. Even CERN has failed to send humans through. If you believe what Titor says, it won't be another, 24 years before there's a true time machine? Speaking of Titor, while I was taking that little break, I was thinking, why did Kurisu automatically know about John Titor and know about the things that he's posted on @channel, or have said? Because as far as Rintaro and the rest of the characters know, she is not an @channel user, although she has used some @channel slang and manga slang before, which is prevalent on the internet and @channel. So I'm wondering if she might be one of the users that was interacting with the John Titor thread at some point. But I'm not certain about that hypothesis. I answer Kurisu's sarcastic question with a nod. Physical time travel is impossible for us at the moment. We lack the funds and facilities available to CERN. And yet we have realized a form of time travel. We've sent data to the past. We should investigate the phone wave further. We need to understand what's going on. I have some fun ideas for how to use D-mail. I know how you feel, but we can't today. If we shake the building again, Mr. Braun is sure to blow a gasket. He'll raise the rent or kick us out of the lab. We can start experimenting again tomorrow, but this I will declare now. I step onto the couch and look at each lab mem in turn. You have to take off your shoes. It's dirty. Today, what day is it? August 2nd. August 2nd, 2010 is a date which will live in infamy. For on this day, we, the Future Gadget Laboratory, have developed the first successful time machine in the history of mankind. It's not the first. CERN beat us. And you can't even say we developed it. It happened by accident. It seems that my assistant doesn't know the meaning of the word serendipity. Penicillin, X-ray machines, dynamite, these inventions and more were all born from coincidence. I guess. But Chris-chan, you said before that time machines don't exist, right? But now you admit they do. It's just that I have to admit it for now. If we investigate how the phone wave works, it might turn out to be something that only seems like time travel. Does nobody have any respect for my grand declaration? Don't complain if I take all the credit for inventing the first, second, whatever, time machine in human history. The 66th Roundtable Conference ends here. Dismissed. Wait, what? That was a roundtable conference? I didn't know that. And it's even the 66th. Who cares what kind of table it is? Kurisu gets up from her chair and stretches. I'm gonna go back to my hotel, take a shower, and sleep. I registered her as Lab Mem number 5 just a bit earlier. It was a choice between letting her leak word of the time machine or forcing her to join our group. I reluctantly chose the latter. Ugh, I've gone soft. The old me would have killed her without a second thought. Moeka is standing right next to me, but my monologue has no effect. Looks like she wants to ask me something. What is it? Is it really a time machine? Yes, you'll see, but you can't tell anyone, okay? Moeka nods. Alright, program complete. Kurisu, lying on the sofa, looks up from the technical manual she was reading. She got here about 30 minutes ago. Then let's resume the experiments. But won't the manager scold us again? Heh, don't worry. Yesterday I made this promise with Mr. Braun. I swear there won't be any more shaking today. In other words, the no shaking promise only applied yesterday, so since today is yesterday's tomorrow, we can shake it all we want. That doesn't settle anything. Why you're so confident is a mystery to me. In other words, Christina, you want me to erase Mr. Braun? No! Besides, I don't think a wimp like you stands a chance against him. He's so muscly. Unfortunately, it's impossible to experiment without shaking the building. I have no choice but to renegotiate with Mr. Braun somehow. The other 4 members look at me in anticipation. Are they planning to sacrifice me? Is this the choice of Steins Gate? But how do I... While trying to think of a way to avoid talking to the manager, I wander over to the window and look outside. The street below is mostly empty. A girl is polishing her bicycle in front of the building. A much younger girl is squatting next to her, watching her work. They're alone. I can only see the backs of their heads from here, but I know who they are. Hey you! Part-time warrior! When I call her, Suzuha looks left and right while wiping the sweat off her brow before finally looking up here. Sup? The girl beside her also looks up. This cute little girl is Tanoji Nae, Mr. Braun's only daughter. Looks like she came to play with her father today. I've always wondered how it's possible for such a muscular man to spawn such a cute girl. Nae bows her head when we make eye contact. I return the nod, then call out to Suzuha. What are you doing there? Can't you tell? I'm polishing my bicycle. Aren't you working today? Of course I am. Why else would I be here? You're polishing your bicycle even though you're at work? I mean, I guess the store barely has any customers. To put it bluntly, was there even a need for a part-timer? What, is she still tinkering with that bike of hers? I can hear Kurisu's sour voice from inside the lab. She was there when I came in, glaring at me. Looks like they're still fighting. Hey, part-time warrior, where's Mr. Braun? Mr. Braun? Who's that? The manager of that junk shop you work at. It's not a junk shop, it's a CRT specialty shop. My assistant's so picky. Junk shop was just a joke to add a little Ho and Kyoma spice to the mix. Oh, so that's who you meant. Daddy's name isn't Mr. Braun. The little girl diligently corrects us on her father's name. She must not get the joke. The boss is on a service trip. I don't think he'll be back for a while. But what? Is that true? It's true. I wouldn't be slacking off like this otherwise. Ah, Nae, don't tell the boss I said that, okay? Then let me ride your bicycle. It's a blessing from the gods. I give my gratitude to part-time warrior and shift my attention back inside. You heard her. This must be the choice of Steins Gate. Mr. Braun is currently absent. In other words, we can experiment to our heart's content. That doesn't solve the problem, you know. I'm telling you, it's the choice of Steins Gate. Whatever, I want to try out the Phone Wave 2nd edition, volume 103. Version 103? I think it would be version. Second attention verse erosion? 2nd edition, volume Version 1.03. How did we get to 1.03? Enough of your fun, sophisticated names. The upgraded version shall be known as Heavenly Merry-Go-Round. The name doesn't matter. Let's just start the experiment. The sound of a camera interrupts our quarrel. Moeka has her phone pointed at us. How many times have I told her not to take pictures? You looked like you were having fun. Mayuri smiles happily. Daru doesn't react. Kurisu turns away in a huff. Hardly. I'm fed up with these people and they're fooling around. This assistant is such a tsundere. Who are you calling a tsundere? Oh, Makaseshi, you know what tsundere means? No. I think you do. It's written all over your face. Kurisu bites her lip. So she is familiar with otaku culture. I wonder how she got that knowledge while living in America. Experiment, please. Moeka's tired of waiting. She's shown great interest in the time machine ever since we told her the truth. Of course, I made her promise never to write an article about it. I threatened to take her phone away if she breaks her oath. That probably would work as a way of keeping her in line with how attached she is to it. And if you're going to talk about time paradoxes, then what about CERN? They've already sent more than 100 people to the past. Surely a few paradoxes have happened by now. CERN? Did you say CERN? So you want to stoop to the same level as the guys that did those inhumane experiments? We're not doing human testing or anything, so relax. Suddenly Mayuri raises her hand. She was staring blankly at us this whole time, so I'm a bit surprised. Okarin, Mayushi doesn't really get it, but what are you going to change? Finally, some constructive conversation. My goal for this operation is simple. We, my friends, are going to win the lottery. Everyone except for Moeka stares at me open-mouthed. I'm for it. If we win the lottery, I can buy all the computer parts I want and go to May Queen for every meal of the day. We'd be stupid not to try it. That's my super haka. Money? Okarin. That makes Mayushi sad. We should do something that will bring peace to the world. Like, what if we give everybody in the whole wide world an Upa cushion? Peace, you say? Don't be ridiculous. I am the insane mad scientist Hyo and Kyo, and here I thought you had ambition. Tch, I'm surrounded by idealists. Don't get me wrong. This isn't about world peace, and it isn't about ambition. It's about discovering whether or not we can change the past. The easiest way to do that is to see if we can win the lottery, right? But your primary goal is the money, isn't it? With that kind of money, I could say goodbye to this rickety old building. Wah ha ha ha! I could get an office in Daibaru or UPX! See, just like I thought. I won't whitewash it. If we moved, we could experiment as much as we want without fear of Mr. Braun. If we had money, we could build the future gadgets of our dreams. And of course, we could buy a truckload of Mayuri's favorite bananas. Truckload? No, Mayuri-san, don't let him tempt you. Shut it, Celeb 17. Serendipity? Celeb 17. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You live in a hotel off of your parents' money. You could never understand the plight of poor students like us. Kurisu puts on a sulky expression. I'm 18 now, she protests, but I ignore her. It doesn't matter if she's 18. Celeb 17 sounds better. What do you think, Moeka-san? No reaction from Moeka. Whatever my assistant was trying, it didn't work. I have no idea what Moeka is thinking, but I'll treat her lack of opposition as approval. If you're going to complain, then suggest an alternative. A change to the past that would be both trivial and easy to understand. Got anything? Let's try changing the hotel I'm staying at. Kurisu's voice lacks conviction. How are we supposed to know the difference? If you want to stay in What? If you want to stay in Ugui Sudani, do it on your own. That should be easy for a Celeb 17 like you. Do you have to say it like that? Anyway, why Ugui Sudani? Because that's where all the love hotels are. One more word out of you and I excise your frontal lobe with a rusty scalpel. Holy crap, a lobotomy? That's mad scientist theory. Then how about we change my fried chicken to a different brand? Nobody cares what brand of chicken you eat. Aww. Silence descends upon us. Krisu and Mayuri are still thinking, but I doubt they'll come up with anything good. As for Moeka, I can't tell what she's thinking or if she's even thinking at all. She's just staring at her phone, motionless. She's not even typing for a change. Daru has already declared his support for me. Now he's browsing Moe news sites as if this whole thing doesn't concern him. Even with a time machine before you all, this is all you can think of. You guys sure lack imagination. If there are no other suggestions, we'll use my plan. Krisu frowns, but she doesn't raise any more complaints. As I thought, she too wants to know if we can change the past. She's a scientist through and through, and if I'm not mistaken, she has a bit of mad in her too. Mwahaha! It's been bugging me, but what is that Steins Gate thing? It's Okarin's catchphrase. Steins Gate is Steins Gate. Nothing more, nothing less. That doesn't explain anything. Don't complain about every little thing. That's not important right now. I place my finger on the send button. My hands are shaking. I fight to keep them steady. Starting up the microwave. I swallow hard. The turntable begins to spin backwards as the microwave comes to life. The timer ticks down. 163, 162, 161. Change the past. It seems very simple to do. But just like Krisu said, there's no telling what might happen. I said I'd take responsibility, but that was just talk. If a time paradox does occur, it could do irreparable damage to the world I know. 150, 149, 148. How am I supposed to take responsibility for that? Lightning crackles in the air around us. It's working. All I need to do is press the send button. 136, 135, 134. I can't stop now. I want to see what lies beyond. Curiosity pushes me forward. There's no way this will destroy the world. There's no way. 122, 121, 120. Elsai Kongru. I press the button. My phone displays a flying mail animation and the words sending mail. 116, 115. What? A wave of vertigo washes over me. It feels as if my feet have left the ground. Suddenly my vision blurs and everything turns monochrome. Is the ground shaking? Every cell in my body is screaming, this is wrong. Okarin? Are you okay? Mayuri's voice brings me to my senses. I realize that color has returned to the world. What was that just now? Are you okay? Mayuri waves her hand in front of my face. I also notice that there is no timestamp in the corner. After blinking several times, I notice I'm standing stock still, gripping my phone. My phone should be displaying mail sent, but it's not. Instead, it's showing the normal standby display. Something isn't right here. I look around. I'm inside the lab. The phone wave name subject to change isn't on. When I sent the mail, the timer read 1:15. In other words, it should still be running for about 2 more minutes. Yet now the phone wave name subject to change is silent. I scan the room. Other things feel wrong. Just a few seconds ago, Daru was sitting in front of the X68000. But now he's sitting in front of the lounge computer. Did he teleport? At least I don't remember seeing Daru get up and move to the lounge. Krisu is sitting cross-legged on the sofa reading a massive technical book. She should be in the development room too. Moeka is standing at the edge of the development room. Nothing particularly different about her. Mayuri is next to me, looking at me with a confused expression. This is wrong. Mayuri, how long have I been standing here? Eh? What do you mean? Just tell me. Maybe 30 seconds? 30 seconds? Really? Yep, you suddenly ran over to the phone wave, then you took out your phone and started going, ha, ha. Say that again, Mayushi. Daru calls out from the lounge. Huh? You started going ha, ha. The ha ha part. Ha, ha. More sexy this time. Stop it, perv. Krisu and Daru are exchanging their usual banter. How can these guys be so calm? I just sent a mail that may have changed the past. Why aren't they interested in the result? That's right, the mail. I quickly check my mail. What? The mail arrived a week ago. Huh? What's going on? The money. Did I win the Lotto 6? I search my memories, but turn up nothing. No memories of buying a ticket, no memories of winning 3rd place, nothing. Hey, Celeb Sev, did I win 3rd place? Don't call me Celeb Sev, and 3rd place of what? What? Again, this feeling of disconnect. I approach Kurisu, who's lounging on the sofa. What did you say just now? What? What the hell did you say just now? Kurisu glares back at me. Got a problem? I asked what, and then you just... Not that, you said 3rd place of what, right? I mean 3rd place of Lotto 6. What? Kurisu gives me a puzzled look. It doesn't seem like she's messing with me. Daru, I sent myself the winning Lotto 6 numbers just now, didn't I? Holy crap. Daru's eyes light up. That's brilliant, man. We can use D-mails to make ourselves billionaires. I could buy all the computer parts I want and go to May Queen for every meal of the day. I am so pumped up. This is wrong. Mayuri, you were gonna buy a truckload of bananas, right? A truckload? Who's gonna fill it up? This is wrong. I look at Moeka. She's staring at the floor like usual, but I don't miss the confused glance she throws my way. Wait, what happened to Stage 2 of Operation Erd? By Stage 2, you mean an experiment to see if we can change the past, right? Right, that's it. Yeah, that's why we're all thinking. What? About what to send, so we can tell if the past has changed. I think we should definitely go with Okurin's Lotto 6 idea. Mayushi thinks we shouldn't be so greedy for dough. But when I say dough, I don't mean like for baking. I think we all know what you mean. Really? That's great! So instead of being greedy, we should do something that will bring peace to the world. Like if we gave everybody in the whole wide world an Upa cushion. I think everyone would be happy. The only one who would be happy are little kids and Mayushi. What? What are these guys saying? They're acting like I never sent that D-mail with the winning numbers.